What is hatching, Toga Peeps? Oldmantup coming at you today with our Week 8 Season 4 battle against Crystal Key and the Adelaide Honchkrows. It's really Adelaide in the event. Someone wonders why I keep calling them that. Dilly. Yeah. So she's brought a lot of the things that we were worried about. As you can see on your... Which direction is the screen from here? Over there. In the pirate sale. The Pirattatas pirate sale. She brought some of the things we were worried about. And she didn't bring a lot of the two main things I had fits when we were team building with Trogdor, Burninator, the Peasants. And that is... Old people wear glasses. She didn't bring Keldeo, and she didn't bring Whimsicott, which is fantastic because it doesn't look like she has a lot of options for paralysis on her team, which is something I was worried about. She doesn't have Sticky Webs and Leavani, and she doesn't have Keldeo, which just always gives me fits, and I got something in my eye in the middle of this. That's no bueno. I hope that is not a foreshadow of things to come, where I get mud in my eye. Anyways. That's the team we got. If you didn't check out the team builder yesterday, shame on you. You should go do that. If I remember, I will put the link in the descripciones. But if not, just go click on my name, which is underneath this video, and go check out the video I uploaded directly before this, because NPA is the only thing going on my channel right now, so yeah, stuff and things. But yeah, anyways, this match will be uploaded one day before one of my favorite holidays, which is Easter. So, happy Easter to all the Toga Peeps in Toga Peep land. Yeah. A fantastic egg-themed holiday, outside of the religious part. But, yeah, those of you who are celebrating it, happy Easter, and I hope you have fun at church. I know I will. We're gonna lead off with Remix, because we want to get that early game scouting, and it was wonderful to get to see what she had on this Dusknoir, because we didn't have to worry about as many things. We find out it's got Frisk, which lets it know what we have, and they're going to hard switch out here. I'm going to send Edward out, and we're just going to Shadow Punch right out the gate. And I am trying to remember if this thing had Will-O-Wisp, and for the life of me I can't remember, and if it did, I don't know why I wouldn't have gone for it right there. Unless I thought she would switch out into Megazard. But we're going to go out into Zapdos here. We're going to get knocked off in the face. And that doesn't do nearly as much as I thought it would, because knockoffs from this thing really hurt most of the time. She's going to send out Hippocrit. And we see the Sand Rush, and the Sand Core is revealed. We're going to go for the Thunderbolt, and that doesn't affect it. And we find out here... And this was not through the fault of our Jenner. When I don't know if I mentioned this in the team build or not. I think that was something else I was talking about. This had HP Dark, and it was not the fault of the Jenner. When I put in Hidden Power Ice into the thing, it didn't. It was wrong. So it didn't change the EVs, so I got HP Dark, which really made me sad, because we could hit a lot of things really hard on this team with that HP Ice, and it said we got HP Dark. So I don't even know if I used Hidden Power this entire match, spoilers, but that made me a little sad face. I don't know how that happened on Showdown. You can go back and look at the team builder, but that was when I had checked the things. I knew that I didn't have the right thing, and I went back and checked, and it was wrong. Then I clicked Hidden Power Ice and it corrected them. So I don't know if I didn't finish typing it out the original time I did it or what. But we did not have Hidden Power Ice on this, and that made me so sad. Because things like this, I could have just dropped a Hidden Power Ice. I for sure would have dropped a Hidden Power Ice on the Drapion, knowing that this or Excadrill would be coming in. And I would have hit this for super effective damage, which would have done a lot more than the Thunderbolt did. So yeah, sad face. The Sandstorm is a Raging Cage, and we're going to send out the glorious one. Think that she would take this turn to set up the Stealth Rocks, and that is exactly what she does. Now, I'm trying to think here. as to whether or not this thing is going to have a Rocky helmet on. Because if it does, I don't want to be just U-turning all over its face. We're going to U-turn turn 1, see if she has Rocky helmet or the smooth rock. I would guess she has a smooth rock, but in fact she does have the Rocky helmet. So next time this comes up where we think that'll be switched in, we are just going to go ahead and knock off so we aren't getting accumulative damage. And now that he has rocks up, she has rocks up, my apologies. Now that the rocks are up, she's going to roar, and that's going to send us right back out with the glorious one, who's the fastest thing in the game right now. So that's sad face. We are just going to knock off this turn, thinking that maybe she would continue to do the roar shenanigans. She doesn't. And she is just going to slack off to get HP back up. We have to U-turn out now because we can't keep taking sandstorm damage. We don't want to lose Beedrill this early in the match. So we're going to send Remix out here because we can take a little bit of chip damage going into this. And if she doesn't roar this turn, I'm going to imagine Hippowdon is probably the thing we want taking hits, and we can just slack that damage off if she chooses to roar us out again. Now Big Bird's going to come out here again, and we've got the two possible worst roar switch-ins the turns that she has roared, and that is Sad Face. So that's no bueno, but we do get to defog the rocks away should she choose to stay in and continue to just roar the team around. That's one of the things I really don't like about playing against Hippowdon, is if you don't have a beneficial switch into it, it gets rocks up, it just roars your team around. Now she's going to drop the Ice Punch here, which I kind of saw coming because, like I said, I knew the set from Imposter Ditto getting that set first turn. And we're just going to Thunderbolt here. I don't think she's going to risk going into... excuse me while I clear my throat. I don't think she's going to risk going into the... And I'm going to pull my notebook out here because I know I have all the moves written down. Because I take notes like an old person. I had everything written down. She had the Will-O-Wisp, Shadow Punch, Earthquake, and Ice Punch. So that is what we knew it had at that point. We go for the Thunderbolt on the switch. She brings out Saphira, which is her Curum. And that was a critical hit, and that didn't do a ton of damage. Again, sitting at the point where if we had that Hidden Power Ice, that would have been a super effective hit here. And that would have been bueno. But, alas, Showdown, you have failed me. So, leftovers go here, but that's my fault for not checking everything before I went into the match. So, yeah. Again. Personal error. And we're just going to bring out our Empoleon, and I'm just like, oh, that is not what I wanted to see. And when I saw leftovers, I thought she might be a subset. And I'm like, okay, sub, what's she going to be rocking next? So, we are prepared for situations like this. We can eat up an Earth Power, not as much as we'd like to. It does less than half, though. It doesn't get the special defense drop, which is awesome. We just roar this thing out. So she lost 25% minus 16% of her health after the leftovers recovery. Or 25% minus 1/16. There we go. Drapian's going to come back out here, and I think the Earthquake is coming, possibly another knockoff, so we are just going to go right back out into Big Burb. It is going to go for the Earthquake, and we are immune to that. So that was a good play. We're just going to hard switch out here, predicting her to switch out again. We're going to go into Poseidon, and she just stays in and goes for Rock Slide. I'm like, man, she is living life dangerously with this Drapion. Really thought she was going to hard switch out there into something like the Hippowdon, but she doesn't. Gonna go for the knockoff here, which is going to get rid of our... Did we have leftovers this week? We did have leftovers, and that was a crit, and that did a ton of damage, but allows us to get up our Stealth Rocks, which is awesome, because I don't think she has anything on her team to get rid of them. So that is chip damage. We don't want Poseidon to go down just yet, thinking that another Earthquake is incoming or possible knockoff. We're just going to win a Big Bird, and this knockoff is going to do even less damage, and the yellow magic comes into play. Getting that paralysis, so not knowing exactly what speed it was at this point, that opens up some doors for us to play, and that is awesome. Gonna bring the Ditto out here, thinking either a Rock Slide or possible Rock Slide incoming. It is going to hit. Rock Slide hits. And we're sitting in a point where we can just pretty much freely Earthquake anything on her team. She's gonna bring out Hippo Crit, and this will take the Earthquake fairly well if that's what we go to, or we might have just gone for knockoff. I don't remember. We did go for the Earthquake. Unfortunately, we are locked into that because a knockoff right there would have been awesome. Wouldn't have actually done anything because I keep thinking, oh yeah, she got Rocky Helmet, but she does. We knocked it off already. Ha! But that would have been a stab hit, which would have been awesome. Gonna bring Poseidon out here more or less as a sacrificial lamb. It is just going to slack off this turn, which is awesome, which opens us up to just scald anything that wants to come in against us, possibly snag a burn. Portal is going to come out here, which is the Dusknoir, which we haven't touched yet. Sad face. We do get the Stealth Rock damage. We are going to get that Scald off, and that Scald does a ton. A ton. Now, she does have leftovers, so that will negate the Sandstorm damage. And I don't remember if at this point we do outspeed and go for the Scald, which isn't going to quite kill it. It will Shadow Punch and be able to take us down at this range. So Poseidon goes down, but the damage has been dealt. We got the rocks up. Sandstorm will kill the Portal, which is unfortunate because no one on our team gets credit for that kill because she, I don't think Sandstorm damage counts as kills in this league. So she brings Curum out here, and that is awesome because we know she isn't scarfed, so we're just going to be able to Ice Beam all of the things with this Curum. So we have a Scarf Curum sitting right here. We're going to go for the Ice Beam. I was really surprised that she stayed in here. I don't know if she was anticipating a bluff Scarf or she was just trying to wait out Sandstorm turns before she brought out her Megazard, who takes 50% from rocks, which is always a welcome sight when you're playing any of the Charizards. And I was really worried about DD Zard. Really worried about DD Zard. I mean, I was having nightmares about how this thing could set up a Dragon Dance and pretty much run through my team after that, special or physical, with the Sun. We're going to go for the Ice Beam here, and that, she just barely lives on that, and I was just like, whew, whew, that was close. So, not sure how much of a roll that was or was not. We're just going to stay in an Ice Beam because I don't want, like I said, I don't want this thing setting up in my face. She goes for the Fire Blast and misses. Now, this is a critical juncture in the match because had she hit that Fire Blast, it's a neutral hit. I don't know the investment she has in this right now. That could have very well been the end of Curum. So, yeah. If I didn't have this Curum moving forward, things could have been different at the end of the match because this is Ditto. So, keep that in mind later in the match. And we will discuss at the end how important that Fire Blast miss was. So, that is going to allow us to just kill this Zard with that Fire Blast miss without Zard having a huge impact on the match. And that is excellent. So that was 3 or 4 Ice Beams, so we only have a few left. So we don't want to be screwing around versus this. And here, I don't even remember what I was doing at the time, but I looked down, I clicked fight, and it didn't even give me I didn't realize I'd never taken a Mon all the way out of moves before. Just by clicking fight, it locked me into struggle, and I was just like, and I just looked down at the screen. Like I said, I don't remember exactly what I was doing, but I just looked down, clicked fight without a second thought in my mind, as it was just my natural instinct to click fight, and just locked into struggle. I was like, son of a gun. Which really upset me because she could have got rock. I mean, did she set up rocks here? Or did she go for the... Yeah, she gets rocks up pretty much for free here. And that is really, really unfortunate. It makes us take an unnecessary turn of sandstorm damage, and it makes us take an unnecessary turn of struggle recoil, which really, really was bad news bears. So we bring out Zapdos here. She's going to switch out Exabill, the Excadrill. The sandstorm is still raging like a Cajun, and she is going to reveal her, I think this is Poison Jab Z move. Is it? Yes, this is Acid Downpour, her Poisonium Z, whatever it is. She got the Poison Z Crystal. She's gonna rock the move, and it is going to destroy Big Burb's face. So, unfortunately, Big Burb goes down to that. We didn't really have a great switch in outside of that. We're gonna send Remix out here. Now, here's one of the points where it is very beneficial to us that we had this, because our only other thing that wants to come in and eat Earthquakes, Iron Heads, Rock Slides, or Poison Jabs from this Excadrill is our Zygarde, and we don't want that to be at any lower of health than it absolutely has to be. But at this point, Zygarde could have come in if Remix was not here, but we don't want to get into the hypotheticals. But we are going to outspeed this thing all the time because we still got our Choice Scarf intact, and we can just Earthquake things, which is awesome because she doesn't have a lot left on her team that wants to come in and just eat Earthquakes. So we see Hippowdon come out here. We're going to drop the Earthquake. And at this point, we know we have to keep the Excadrill alive. That doesn't do 50% damage, so we are going to have to not let Ditto die here. We're going for another Earthquake. She is just going to have to slack off. And we stayed in to get damage that turn, knowing she would have to slack off to keep this Hippowdon as alive as possible, to let the Sandstorm, to keep her Sandstorm intact. This turn, we can switch out into Yermangarder. Not terribly worried about what she's going to do, thinking she possibly is just going to roar this turn anyways. And she does just go for the Earthquake, trying to kill our guy. But she doesn't, and that's good for us. So we're just going to straight up Z move here, and that is Devastating Drake. We were really thinking that the oncoming roar was about to bust out here, and I wanted to do as much damage and leave her at as low a health as possible before the roar was to come out. I mean, she has roar, she has to click it fearing a DD, and that is exactly what she does. So we put this thing at as revengeable a range as possible. So Hippowdon's out here. She has to switch out because, like I said, she doesn't want this thing going down. Now, we're just going to go for the Aura Sphere here. Aura Sphere is going to do a ton of damage to this. It is not resisted because it is dark and poison. So another Aura Sphere is going to be more than enough to take this thing down. Lucario putting in the Kamehameha work and just ruining Drapian's face for the children. Hippocrit's going to come back out here and set Sand for the last time. Yeah. So Hippocrit's out here. We're just going to drop another Aura Sphere because it's going to do more than enough damage to take this thing out. And out is going to come her Exabill. At this point, all we have to do is Vacuum Wave and then finish it off with an Earthquake from Remix. And that is exactly what we are going to do. The Vacuum Wave does about 50%, maybe a little bit more, which was an awesome hit to see coming from a Life Orb boosted Vacuum Wave. Unfortunately, this Earthquake is going to be enough to take out Baron. Baron is going to go down, but having netted 2 kills this week, which was just awesome, Remix is going to come out here and be more than enough to finish the Excadrill. Again, we got the Scarf, we would outspeed. And we're going to be able to take this thing down. So, the match has ended. And we are sitting with the victory, which is awesome. And where are we at? Okay, pop up, girl face. There we go. Okay, so we're just gonna pause it here and talk a little bit. We sat 3-0, and I apologize, I'm doing a little off-screen work. Who did we have left? We had Mega Beedrill, Ditto, and Zygarde at that point. Yeah, that Fire Blast miss was huge. Probably swayed the tide of the battle, because not only did it allow most likely Ditto to remain alive those last couple of turns, but it gave us an answer to Excadrill in the end, but it also took out the Charizard, which was amazing. Yeah, I'm not going to play Theory Mons and say whether or not one way or another that 100% won or lost the match, because so many things could happen after that, but it was a pivotal moment in the match. It definitely swayed the course of the match in our favor, and it was extremely unfortunate. I never like to see something that big happen in that moment, so my apologies to Cress for the Fire Blast miss, but we won that match 3-0. And Ditto racking up 3 big kills this week. So awesome for Ditto. We are now at 5-3. And Cress, I believe, let me check the doc. Oh no, where'd Adelaide go? There we go. Is also at 5-3, and we're both sitting at a +8 differential. So this puts us at a fairly even spot, depending on how the playoffs shake out so far. We are same win-loss record, same differential. So this was a very important win for us, because if not, it would have put us at 4-4, and that would have made it very hard for us to claw our way back to a favorable position going into the playoffs. But anyways, guys, this has been Oldmantup. Go and check out Cress and her Adelaide Honchkrows out. Link will be in the description. I've been Oldmantup, and I will catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.